collaboration for group initiatives. Let us welcome Ms. Jessie Lai.
Creativity is at the heart of making a positive difference. But does it mean we always have to create something from scratch? It's actually more practical and easier to put the existing resource into better usage, rather than to create something new, which the new resource for that do not exist. With the experience of more than 10 years in managing charity activities, I found that many good initiatives did not get delivered to its fullest to deliver the best. Why? I found that strategy thinking and collaboration between teams and networks are often missed out in execution for effectiveness and efficiencies. So that they lost a chance to continue or to make bigger impact, although many resources have been put into the effort. What pity, right? I like to see myself as a bridge maker, as to building bridges between people, between teams and networks, between different agendas, between limitation and gain rules, to find the common ground to make it work. So today, I'd like to share 2 charity activities I have involved to explain how I help collaborations. In 2019, my company sponsored the charity Daughters of Tomorrow. So my company engagement teams asked me my opinion to support the program, IT literacy program. So this one is to help those stay-home moms, which they don't have a job and stay home to take care of kids. And most of them from the low-income families. And then after the training will help them to match the job opportunities after the work. So it sounds very meaningful, right? However, the charity have a hard time to find corporate partners to help execute the program. This program itself involved in 5 evening in-class trainings, followed by 6 weeks mentoring for each participant. In addition, we also need to provide the child care service to allow this woman get out of their child care job to be able to attend the class. So the children age have wide range. In our case, the youngest one just 9 months old for babysitting. The oldest one is in primary 6, so you need a bit tutoring for him to prepare the PLC exam. This means a lot of commitment by many volunteers. So my company also felt hesitant too. Look, creating job opportunities and skill-based volunteering are favorite type for my company to involve in community work. And all the business units, they also have their business objective to help community. So what I need to do just to match this objective with what they are good at for easier planning. So what I did is just firstly, I get our tech functions to manage the Microsoft training for the IT skills. Then I reach out to other business units and employee network for each to in charge of one child care activity. For example, finance department told the kids about money saving games, and then environment network have the planning about sharing how to save the environment, to save the energy saving and recycle. This is easy for them because it's close to their passion and what they are good at. By combination of heavy teaching tasks by the tech functions and the child care activity by others, we managed to keep everyone happy and satisfied about their involvement. Collectively, the cross-team collaboration contribute to the success of this IT literacy program. Other than volunteer recruiting, fundraising is also a very key element for support charities. My company have this program for match fund to support employees' effort for fundraising. It's a very wonderful tool for me to leverage this. So in 2018, I initiated a team fundraising event through cycling to support the charity IDA that provides training to the domestic migrant workers. So I formed a corporate team to take part in the OTCBC cycling event through my company's cycling network. Collectively, we raised over $24,000 and gave the charity over $45,000 after the match fund. So the following year, when I do this cycling fundraising again, then I saw the opportunities to strengthen the partnership between two charities, IDA and Daughters of Tomorrow. IDA has very well established IT literacy program, also finance literacy program as well. So they also provide advisory to Daughter Tomorrow when they started the service back in 2015. So that, therefore, I request the partial of the best fund need to use in the joint program by the two charities. By connecting funding resource, we reach the less experienced charity to learn from more experienced charity to scale the impact for their upskill as well. Furthermore, our efforts to support Daughter Tomorrow also got recognized by my company through the Global Citizenship Award. We are one of the final 4 finalists globally out of over 200 submissions. So not only the charity got support from us, the involved business also got the recognition from the fund. What a win-win. Alone we can do so little, but all together we can make a bigger impact. Through the strategy mind to connect resource and bridge collections, we can make a bigger impact together.
Wow, Jessie, long time no see. Your speech is fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow, long time, at least what, 8 years got
No, not so long.
Huh?
Last time I speak in 2021 as well.
Come. We will photograph together. I see that's why long time never see you really. How many, 8 years? No.
No.
Not 8 years. Okay, you. Very good. So all old time friend, never see. Very good, no, all of us. Do your turn, Legion, are you speaking or no? You're speaking, right? Now. Oh.
No, if time allows.
And who's the next speaker?
Nick.
You want. Never mind. You be the last one. Okay. Very good.
Already last one already.
Oh, good speaker. Lawyer, why you take so long, 14 minutes, no you.
Okay.
You are the longest, no. At first you say 5 minutes enough. Now 14 minutes. I see you.
Okay.
Okay, very
I
good.
will make it short.
Okay, start.
The next speaker is a globetrotter.
Huh?
He's currently
Sure.
working in the US, and we managed to catch him and bring him back to Singapore. He's married and has 3 kids. The title of his speech is The Art of Living. Let us warmly welcome Nick Tan.
You take from others, nobody take you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I plan to speak in the morning, but we have so many excellent speakers and also competition, so time competition. So I let them speak first, and I could go for my other appointment. And I did not actually write down my speech, so I had to try a little bit like Toastmaster skills, impromptu, but. I am not too scared of public speaking, so at least that will help. I tried learning it. I'm halfway through the Confidence Communicator in 2017. And my topic is about the art of living. Art of living, how do we live happily? How do we live without worries, fear, jealousy, envy, etc., etc. So how do we be more happier?
How to be more happier? Okay, you teach us.
Yeah,
we are very sad. We are very sad.
I think people in Singapore are very fortunate, to have the opportunity to live in such a prosperous and healthy, well-to-do country state, and that should be a blessing. But I think imaginable that most of the people in those highly developed countries are at least happier compared to countries where development is yet to catch up. If you ask anyone in New York City, probably you will get the same answer. Are you happy? They are not. The reason is that, I can see that someone else is richer than me. I can see that someone else has more properties, more car, a better car, right? And in Singapore, you can always compare that, somebody lives in a condominium or landed property, and while I live in a HDB. And you should remember that some people don't even have an HDB, right? So when you have an HDB, it is a blessing. I am, at a better social status, because whatever we have done in the past, we get the benefits of it, right? So I have the we all had the experience of listening to morning I think 20 or 30 speakers. I think the keyword keeps coming up, at least the keyword which is clear to me because I was going to talk about it. If you want to be happy, the art of living or the secret of living, it comes with giving. Once we start giving, right, like selflessly thinking that whenever you meet, you start giving him the attention, treating the person like the most important person in the world. And some unknown person called Dale Carnegie, he wrote a book treating other people like the most important person in the world, and he became like the second best-selling author in the world. The only book that he didn't outsell is the Bible. So, if you can sell like Dale Carnegie, because he only knew that treating another person like the most important person, I think it's like, it goes pretty much in line with what the prophets of the past have always preached, like treating another person with kindness, with loving kindness, or treating another person like he's a very important person, because everybody thinks he is the most important person. So you are giving somebody else to babysit their ego, and by reducing our own ego, that's when by making other people happy, our own happiness will grow. Happiness is the inside job, which is also the byproduct of what you do. If you make other people happy, in return, it's like a boomerang. You will actually be growing happier yourself. And if you do look for your own happiness, then every other day you will be feeling pretty lousy because, I wish that this person treat me better, but then he doesn't. And I wish that I treated that person better, but I didn't as well. So, like every change we want to see in the world, it has to start with ourselves, right? The same thing that every other speaker said. The change has to come from within, just like not Mr. but Mahatma Gandhi said. The change that we want to see, we have to come in from ourselves. We can't expect Obama to change. We can't expect Trump to change. We have to start from ourselves and then let it ripple forward. So I believe Dale Carnegie was absolutely right, but based on my learning and growing in meditation and other aspects, we should do one more step, or a few more steps farther than what Dale Carnegie mentioned. Not just treat people as they are the most important, but we also want them to feel safe, to be happy, and to be successful in their endeavors, whatever they are trying to do. May Ernest be more happy. I'm very sure Ernest already saved. So in the hierarchy of needs for following Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Ernest doesn't need more safety. He's definitely safety. He's definitely happy. Already well in self enlightenment or self-fulfilling level 5, which I fail to recall. But if you find someone, at least you start wishing him, oh, may he be safe, may he be happy, may he be successful. And then once you say, many people say, oh, you mentioned giving, but I have nothing to give. I'm so poor, I'm so broke. But at least you can give a smile. You can give your well wishes. You can give, oh, I wish you well. I think it doesn't cost anything. Like people always say, oh, put on a smile before putting on a shirt, right? So I think giving is it's a very affordable gift. Anyone could afford. It doesn't cost a rose. It doesn't cost even you don't even need to win a lucky draw. So I guess once you are starting to give, you will feel the benefits, and then once you feel happier, you will spread your happy mood to everyone else, and then the whole world, I believe, will be a better place. You cannot wish someone happy, safe, and successful and still cheat them, right? So if you want, so you gotta start practicing, and then once you practice that, oh, I do want everyone I meet to be happy, safe, and successful, you will do them well, you do them a good deed, and then in return you will start receiving the rewards. It is a win, 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 win. It is no way it can stop. Every country will do well, every society will do well. I believe Singapore does very well in many aspects because it has great partnerships, and then they expect their partners to succeed, and in return they succeed. Singapore is so far ahead. I just had lunch with some colleagues who are one from Malaysia, one from Hong Kong, and they compare why is Penang not doing well and why is Hong Kong not doing well. Hong Kong is 3 times the size of Singapore, and they barely have 1 million more people. I can tell them that Hong Kong is not as efficient as Singapore, and Hong Kong doesn't have as many good partners as Singapore.
Change. The world has changed. Before Hong Kong like that, Singapore like that. Now it's still very
Yeah, and
right,
Hong Kong can't catch up with us
yeah,
anymore.
It's true.
I'm very proud to be a Singapore citizen. So I mean, it's all starts with giving, right? So just to regroup my thoughts on art of living. So if you want to be happier, start giving. Start with giving. Giving is a step number 1.
Yeah,
Once you can start giving with well wishes, kind speech, and things will start coming. And then once you start coming, you have a little bit more money, you can start donation. Like you can do volunteering. And
that's the way. You got $1 million to give, right?
of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
don't
Over my
forget about me,
lifetime. Over my lifetime. Yeah. So Yeah, I believe there is a very well-known Christian preacher. He always say that you make all you can, save all you can, and give all you can. So I think that's an excellent philosophy. I live by that.
Well, Nick has improved so much, really, Fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Okay,
Right,
back to you, Cindy.
Wow, very good. Fantastic.
Well done, you got
Well, yeah, good, yeah,
the
good.
boss.
Didn't change.
Isn't that lovely?
Okay, next one.
Thank
The
you.
next speaker
Oh, yeah, it took too
is
long.
like a diamond.
Yeah.
She sparkles whenever she goes.
Really, give away diamond or have diamond?
Take my diamonds. That's the one. Whisk her away.
She's a highly active and touched up Toastmaster. And her evaluation strikes a chord with many. She puts her own energies into ensuring that advising skill development and good change will add up to the value of the speaker. Her speech title is Cliffhanger at Your Failure. Cliffhanger at Your Failure. Let us warmly welcome Penny Reckley. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, the title is A Cliffhanger or Failure? Question mark. Thank you for recording. A new job awaiting, a new continent, a new corner of the earth. In 1995, a new bank, a new place to live in, Singapore. I've been able to become and do a new corporate role. So exciting. Not for me, myself, but for you, and you. Pastures are new, failure can never happen. From UK to the Orient, through Lloyd's to Standard Chartered. My first few days, big smiles, big handshakes, such love to me. But very quickly, I gripped. I started to worry about something. You are all so astoundingly academic in the Far East. 2 degrees are very normal. A lot of you are working at night to get a 3rd degree and PhDs en masse. I had nothing intellectual to show. Despairingly, I was ashamed. I was ashamed of me. I was ashamed of my reputation. I was ashamed of my low value. I was ashamed because I felt I had no match for you. Even my role, multilingual clients, of course, but they were multi-degreed too, and I was supporting the priority relationship managers at the bank. They expected me to have some sort of academia. Was I going to fail? Hauntingly so. I thought that this was the end, and I'd have to go back to where I came from. But what can I do? I have to really use my intellect, my past, to find something that I could really, on expertise, tap into. And just like a movie, I cast my mind back to when I was at Lloyd's Bank to find a successful story where I differentiated with a client. And this client came to my head. He was Farmer Northmore. Apparition. Farmer had met 2 swanky, silky-suited bankers first. They brought posh, branded briefcases with them to the country, to his farm. Farmer was dressed in a brown old muddy mock, with muddy wellies to match. Farmer was frightened. He shooed them away, like he did sometimes with his cattle. Miraculously, after that incident, I was summoned to meet Farmer Northmore. So as I drove to country and I arrived at this farm, I opened the big wide farm gate and I knocked on the big farm door. Suddenly, my senses shuddered. I had been there before. When I was little, my cousin and I, who lived near the farm, we walked to the farm on Saturday to buy the most beautiful, fresh produce brown eggs. I was absolutely beside myself when that moment came. The door creaked open and I was ushered in to the farm and had to sit in the dank and dirtiest lounges with the curtains drawn. As I sat down with Farmer, I took him back to my lovely Saturdays, my egg-collecting memory when I was a little girl. He was so hunched in his chair, he was just like the hunchback of Notre Dame. But I asked him, and I listened to him. I asked him about his farming life. I asked him about his long days. I found out about his needs. There was idle cash in the bank doing nothing. And suddenly I saw Farmer's eyes lean forward to me and twinkle. I continued to help. I listened even further. I uncovered his pain points. It was a wonderful experience, that change in Farmer. He got closer to me as I mentally cuddled him. And I did business with him for the long term. No exams had taught me that. No academia had taught me that. It was just natural differentiation to understand clients, like Farmer's, needs. There was no value in me talking high level. He only related to the down-to-earth conversation that we had together. Mind back in Singapore, I knew I had found some differentiation in my skill sets. I knew now that I could help the bankers, they're uninformed bankers because they were so academic, to really be able to relate and plough their financial turf more successfully with their clients. Failure was extinguished in my world. And then I thought, I'm going to help you. I can help others. Everyone, go deep. Go deep inside out and think about life. Life does bring us failure. Of course it does. But do you know, if you let it, if you don't fight it, it will get you if you let it in, and it will completely destroy you for life. Go deep inside out again. Find your positive self, your unique excellence. Find your worthiness in life. I know absolutely that you have it. It's not all about the best marks in exams. It's not all about the certificates with all these numbers. It's about you and your reassuring yourself. It's about you and reassuring others in your world. I know that you can actually accept failure, and you can drown and discard that cliff if you feel it hanging there to fail. Pick it up. Find positive self. Reunite yourself. Rescue yourself. Because you know who will more benefit from you being that positive leader. Yes, it will be you, but it will also be others around you who will benefit on their turf.
Captain Lee, right? Captain Ryan?
Yes.
You're not sure. Who have not spoken?
The next speaker
Yeah, working right? Okay, yeah.
works
So,
as a digital
3 more
engineer.
minutes. Fantastic, man. Our timing is very good. Wow, 3 o'clock. Finish. Very good, very good. Our timing is fantastic. Because we started a bit late now. Now it's exactly 3 o'clock. Go lah, go.
Our next speaker works as a digital engineer in a design firm where he assists people with evolving technologies that shape the environment. The speech title is From Smoke and Mirrors to Clear Skies. From Smoke and Mirrors to Clear Skies. Let us welcome Guadalupe.
Wow, that's fantastic. You've done a very good job. So your speech must be good, huh? Slow and steady, alright?
Yes. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, what comes to your mind when you hear these buzzwords, climate change? Perhaps it is the glaciers melting, or the ocean or seawater rising, or the extreme weather events like flooding, heat waves, droughts. But today, I want to talk about something a little different that is often ignored in the discussions and in media space, which is the ethical implications of climate change. Because climate change is not just an economic or financial problem, it is also an ethical problem. So, some of the key points that I am going to dive into. The first is, do you know that the world's largest polluters are also the least vulnerable from climate change? How is it so? Firstly, because they have better infrastructure, better system to deal with problems like this, better resources. Since the Industrial Revolution started in the 18th century, global economies around the world launched up into the skies. It was because of the burning of the fossil fuels, the new technology that we have discovered. But again, there is a debt that needs to be owed to the developing countries who do not have such resources, who do not have the opportunity to be on the same platform, to join into that race of developing themselves. The next point I want to make is that these big countries, much of their production is offshore. So is the burden of responsibility. So you are manufacturing climate unfriendly things, environment unfriendly things offshore and just importing it back. And the burden of climate change is passed on to the developing countries. The next thing is the rising cost of living in this situation. There is a divide between the rich and the poor because of affordability of climate-friendly products, environmental-friendly products. In a recent survey in America, it has been said that it is discovered that 55% of Americans will buy environmental-friendly products if they were given a choice. But we don't consider the ethical and moral implications behind that. There are people around the world, there are marginalized and vulnerable communities who cannot afford these products unless they are made viable. There are policies made around the world so that everybody can afford those things. The last thing I want to talk about is something called greenwashing. The unethical and deceptive practices some of the big corporations use while they are trying to promote climate-friendly products. So let's say you went to a shop to buy an area rug or carpet for that matter, and there is a tagline. now it is now with a 50% more recyclable content, and so you are really hurry to buy that product because it now has 50% more recyclable content. But in truth, the content is just increased from 2% to 3%. Mathematically it's correct, but does this make a big impact? Perhaps not. It's just a way of greenwashing things. Let's take another instance. A few years ago, there was a famous trend of dropping out or discarding uses of plastic straws, right? In coffee shops. I wouldn't name the corporation, but yeah, you might have guessed. So what they did is, instead of using plastic straws, they put on a lid and there was an inbuilt straw. But there was a study that the lid contained more plastic than the straw itself, so it never solved the problem in the first place. So these kind of malpractices tend to hurt the real problems. And so, in conclusion, I want to say that climate change is not just really an economic or financial problem. There is more fundamental aspect to that, because our right to live, our right to health, food, shelter, all of these things are challenged by climate change. And if we don't hold our governments and these big corporations responsible, then we won't be able to dive into a newer and happier world. So with that said, I hope let us all strive for a sustainable and equitable future. Thank you.
Next one. Yeah.
The next speaker
Yes.
is an international award-winning coach.
Award winner.
Winning coach.
Winning hope one.
Coach.
Oh, coach,
She's
I
not
see.
only coaches,
I heard about hope, you see. My hearing is no good.
She not only coaches, she gives hopes to people.
Give hope also, right?
Yes.
That's why it's fantastic. I also need hope.
She'll be delivering a speech. The purpose-driven life. The purpose-driven life. Let us welcome my partner in crime, Gabrielle Lo.
Okay, so I have a challenge of keeping everybody's energy away. Imagine this with me.
Yes.
You
Don't
wake up.
imagine it's you.
Imagine this with me. You wake up every morning excited for what you need to do. You look forward to your meetings, and you're actually happy to do all your Excel spreadsheet and your Word documents. You might be thinking, Gabby, are you insane? Do you live in a fantasy world? My clients say to me, Gabby, I hate my boss, I hate my job, and frankly speaking, I hate my life. So what do you say when somebody says that to you? So I listen, and I say to him, look, right now we are fighting 2 world wars. Right? We reached the stage where inflation is so bad that every time I go to a supermarket, I just have a little mini heart attack. Does anybody else have that experience? So yeah, only we go to supermarket to shop. So, Dr. Idris is a Muslim British medical doctor. He works in the UK, and he spends his time making fun of health influencers on social media. He was so frustrated with the misinformation on social media, he said, look, something needs to happen. So there are hundreds and thousands of health influencers. They say things like, women at menopause because we eat carbohydrates. Fruits make you fat, and you shouldn't feed oats to your children. You imagine people with such information is pushing out this information, hundreds and thousands of people, and people believe them. So this doctor was so frustrated, he said, no, I need to debunk the myths of these health influencers. So he spends his spare time, besides working in a hospital, just showing credible science research. And it makes it interesting so that you and I would actually watch this video. Check him on Instagram. So what is his purpose? Dr. Idris
frankly, it's busy. Why would a doctor want to do this? Because he felt he had to show the truth and the light to people in the world. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, as long as you have a phone, you have access to ChatGPT, you can be a health influencer. Right? So we need people like Dr. Idris to stand out and say, look, his purpose is to show the light. Miss Jackie Pollinger was only 22 years old when she went to Hong Kong. She had $100 in her pocket. And she said, I'm just going to go to Hong Kong because I think my purpose is to evangelize to the people in Hong Kong. And guess what? She's 80 years old now. Right? And this lady spent, when I talk about her, I get so inspired. She lived in the walled city. And back then in Hong Kong, that was the most notorious place for sex trafficking, drugs, prostitution, and that was ruled by
How long ago?
1966. The walled city.
1966.
Let me finish my story, okay? Back then. So in those days, and she spent years living in a city like this. She spent hours bringing so-called criminals to judges. She stood at trial with them, even though these people were guilty. But as long as they told her that, I'm not guilty, could you just accompany me? Can you pray for me? She did that. No one's fine. And she was not getting paid for any of this. Imagine she lived in a place that was filthy. The place was lack of sanitation. Lack of sanitation, think one toilet for 100,000 people in a 6-acre space. Can you imagine living in a place like that? She did that. But she ministered to people. And what happened was the Hong Kong government acknowledged what she has done. In 1997, after so many years, they gave her a plot of land. She started this society called St. Stephen's Society, and what they do is they provide rehab homes for drug addicts, for prostitutes, and gang members. And she decided my purpose is to help these people get back on their feet before I can preach the gospel to them, before I can help them and help them to be evangelized. So I'm not saying that, oh, Gabby, are you telling me I should just go to Hong Kong, $100 in my pocket, and I should quit? No, ladies and gentlemen, your purpose is unique. You do not need to be flying on to the UK, flying to Cambodia, or to Malaysia, or wherever, to do your purpose. No, your purpose starts where you are. As a father, as a grandfather, as a volunteer in the community, as a mom, as a stay-at-home mom, as an entrepreneur, or as a student, we all have a purpose. Last year in 2023, I quit my job as a COO of an executive coach agency. I was having a good life, I had a great salary. But my friend passed away in 2022, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, will I be next? And this friend of mine was only a few years older than me. She was head of legal of an LNC of APAC. She was living a life, driving fast cars, big paychecks. And I was thinking, I don't want to live a life like that. I want to build something for myself. So when she died, something just flipped in my brain. I was like, I don't want to work for people anymore. It is time for me to build my brand, to fulfill my purpose. So it took me for a while to figure out what my purpose was. And I realized that your purpose is tied to what you're passionate about, what you're really good at. And I realized that I love making people look good, sound good, and feel good about themselves. So what is this called? This is called branding. I spoke to hundreds of people on the phone as the CEO of a coaching agency, and I realized that Asians suck at selling themselves. We don't know how to talk about ourselves. I was having a conversation with one of our speakers here, it's like, doesn't know what he's passionate about. And if I can find somebody like that, I'm sure there are hundreds of people who are like this. So fast forward to 2024, I have the privilege of working with clients from Singapore, the UK, and the US, and I really help them to figure out what they're good at, how do they present themselves in a way that is elegant, so you don't humble brag, I'm so amazing, I won this prize. You don't do that on social media, it's unclassy. So I teach them to sell themselves humbly, authentically, and gracefully. Why? Because they don't want to feel invisible. Most of my clients come to me and say, Gabby, I feel that my boss bypasses me for promotions. He doesn't think I exist because I'm invisible, because I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to say, what I've done. So I'd like to stop this from happening. This is my purpose, to help all business leaders and entrepreneurs sell themselves better online and face-to-face. So my question is, what is your purpose? You have been given gifts for a reason. Are you leveraging on your gifts? Or what Rina said earlier so eloquently, let's have the purpose, let's have the courage to pursue our purpose. Can you imagine a world where all of us are internally motivated to do what you're good at, would that make the world a better place? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
What's your USP?
Next speaker is a student looking for an opportunity in finance to enter the real corporate world. The speech title is Volunteering, Making a Difference in Community. Let's welcome Anirudh.
Have you ever heard of a butterfly effect?
Yeah.
It's a concept from chaos theory, where a butterfly flapping his wings here can cause thousands of kilometers away a big storm. It starts with a chain reaction of all the events. We all dream of a better world where less suffering, more opportunities, and stronger community spirits. But how do we get there? We get it by being a bird, being a butterfly, and start the chain reaction by volunteering ourselves. In the events we usually go, just like what volunteering brings. Just like today, our Dr. Ernest Chen brings all us together by volunteering. After 8 years from where he thinks, and today we have a lot of speakers, like 50 plus speeches. That is, he thinks to start a chain reaction. A network brings a volunteering. Means volunteering brings us network. Just like today, I have opportunity to speak in front of many
Very
people.
good. That's a good volunteer, right?
Discovering passion. By volunteering, from last 1 year, I am volunteering from IMCA TMC, Toastmasters Club. So, with this, I learned a lot of things: team building, leadership, team working, and one more skill I learned. Not a skill, but I enjoy that. Is I prepared speeches
Yes.
of 5 to 7 minutes.
Today all the speakers inspire you, right?
Yes. So these speeches inspired me. Like a 5 to 7 minutes is a summary of a person who is experienced 30 years, 40 years, 10 years. He can sum up his speech in just 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes.
And you hear that, you go on a journey with the speaker with that. That I learned with this. The beauty of volunteering lies in its vastness. Like if you love pets, you go to pet care. If you like to meet elder people, you can go to elder care hospitals and care centers. If you like to volunteer for food drives, you can. So much vastness is there in the volunteering. But how to find a perfect spot or perfect organization to look for volunteer? The first is do some local research about which organizations are there, what our passion lies in it, and then after that talk to our circle, family and friends, and take their experiences, how they can give us guidance. After finding the opportunity, start small. Just like 1 or 2 hours a week. Do not overcommit. Sometimes I overcommit also. Then I am like, oh, no sleep in the week. And the one more key thing in volunteering is be flexible. What are the opportunities given, whatever the timings, be flexible and take that opportunity. Maybe you can create a chain reaction, start a chain reaction with that. Remember, every contribution matters, whether it's big or small, whether in terms of money, time and energy. I encourage you to volunteer in many events, just like today you all volunteer to come and speak here. And thank you for the opportunity to speak myself. Thank you.
When are you going away? Yeah.
The last speaker
We come again.
is retired
Going to buy my.
but never tired,
I don't know.
and his active as grassroots leader, management committee in CDAC, and the title of the speech is Bedrock of Humanity. Let's welcome Gideon Chong.
Thank you. The last is not the best.
The last is the best to me.
I just share you because
The last is the best.
I'm the last in the row.
The last is the best to me. You are really good to tell truly, because I know you for so long.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Humble person.
today I'd like to explore with you
Yeah.
the bedrock of humanity.
Huh? One more time.
I'm not a philosopher.
Ah.
I'm trying to explain to those who doesn't know well what is the bedrock of humanity.
Wow, I want to learn from you.
Humanity rests on the crust of this earth,
Yeah.
or what you call the globe in physical terms.
Yeah.
Just have a joke first. For the family,
Yes.
where is the bedrock? It's obviously the bed where they live.
Oh yeah, the rock underneath lah.
Not the rock underneath. They are resting and having fun or whatever you want to say on the bed.
Yeah, I know the bed.
They
but
can
the
rock.
underneath.
They cannot rock the bed too hard, otherwise it will fall off.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether they love or they're quarreling.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be quarreling or just because of you.
Correct.
You are the one who caused all this.
Oh.
And the bed really rock, and that bed rock really almost tumble.
Wow, I see.
Let's look a bit more philosophical.
Mm.
I'm just sharing what I know is
Mm.
what is humanity. As a human being, of course, we are part of the humanity.
Correct.
There are always trouble with humanity,
Mm.
whether because of
Mm.
greed, jealousy,
Mm.
competition,
Yes.
hate,
Yes.
and it arises from where? Different color, different creed, because they are from different races. Look at Russia and Ukraine. They have been on war for 2 years.
Mm.
And what is the recent one? Israel and the Hamas.
Yeah.
They have having a big fight.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know whether they will end tomorrow.
You say, how come I don't know? Huh?
I don't know. I'm not God. Well, looking back further ahead, before Singapore got its independence, we have the Indonesian confrontation.
Is it?
McDonald House was bombed.
Aiyo.
Oh dear. Luckily, McDonald House was spared on a sturdy ground, and it didn't rock off.
Didn't drop off.
Did not rock off. Then we have the racial confrontation.
Yeah.
Malays against the Chinese, or rather the Chinese against the Malays.
Oh.
Why? Because maybe the Malays have the fear of being overpowered, or how come the Chinese are so prosperous? Why are they always in the front?
Oh.
So that causes the racial riot. Now I'm not, as I say, I'm not a philosopher, what all this will happen.
Yeah.
We just want to say that humanity, as human beings, we must have peace,
Peace. Thank you.
racial harmony.
Yes, you're right.
We must encourage friendship all along, whether whichever race.
Yes.
We have to work together.
Yes, you're right.
Yes,
Yes.
we have to educate our children on more encouragement
Yes.
and more living in peace,
Yes.
and encourage each one together to mix together.
Yeah.
Because if it's of different races. In diversity,
Yeah.
we have more strength,
Yes.
more innovation,
Yes.
more creation.
Yes.
Why can't we work together and just say, has the story of the tortoise, or rather the hare riding in a torrent,
Yes.
on that tortoise across the water?
Yes.
If Gay Ban Ping was here, I said, you said it right. Well, if really we can do it,
Yeah.
both of us can go together across troubled waters or whatever dangers. Well, I think life is too short to have everything by yourself. And what is the use of having everything by yourself? If we are living on an island,
Yes.
I'm sure Robinson Crusoe, I think he must have really said, what? I'm left there on the island. Singapore has been prospering. We have been building up for the last 50 odd years.
Yes.
And we are still going on.
Really?
We must continue with this journey. I'm not a politician.
Oh, you're
I'm
good.
just a human being. A Singaporean born here 80 years ago.
Aiyo.
And I'm still going on.
Really?
With the help of the Toastmasters, with the help of my neighbors.
Yes.
And even though I cannot walk properly sometimes, of course I didn't fall, but I trudge on. The medical facilities and all the healthcare are all in Singapore.
Wow.
We are very, very lucky.
You're very
All of us, and
You are
especially
very lucky.
myself.
You're very
I must not only trudge on, I must lead on, if I can.
Yes, you're right.
Although I am of age, but I'm not aged.
You're not, definitely. You're only
Yes.
what? You're only 42
Yeah.
or 43.
This doesn't state me, you are very old.
I'm
No.
old really, I'm old.
They never say I'm very old
No, lah.
on my forehead,
You're not.
because I still can think independently,
Yes.
wisely,
Yes.
and not to be too greedy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard of so many scams around,
Yes.
going on round and round. So many millions have been lost.
Yes.
Don't just look, oh, it's very easy. You just have, just take 10 minutes, you can earn $20.
Really?
Next one, you earn $100
Wow.
in half an hour. All these recent scams around, just the last couple of weeks. I think I almost fall into it.
Oh.
Wow, is that so simple? No. I have bought long ago
Yeah.
and have gone through the hardship, difficulties. Life is not always easy. However, we just have a calm mind and just carry on with the journey. I hope all of us have a good day today, because time is running out. I don't want to be the last one to say, because of D-Day, you have to stay here another half an hour. I'm very sorry that I cannot do it. Thank you. Where's the Toastmaster? Oh, no more Toastmaster. Thank you. Just joking.
I tell one, give me 6 more minutes. I try my speech one more time. All right, you record for me.
We also
Anybody want to do any more speech?
there's a recording.
Oh yeah, you're right. See, I forgot. Kelly waiting for me. Yeah. Thank you. She says she's waiting. She's in Phuket. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have tissue paper. This was something I was told since I was about 6 to 7 years old. What is tissue paper luck, you're asking? Well, when I was young, my parents used to take us to this supermarket near our place, where for every $50 you got paper luck.
And my parents were fair to try to make sure that my brother and I had equal chances to do the drawers. So my brother would win, little things, more knickknacks, snacks, toys, whereas I would always which was a packet of tissue paper. It got so obvious that I was unlucky that one day my mom came to me looking awful serious. And she said to me, you know what? You have tissue paper luck. That means you will never win at any kind of gambling, so don't even try. Everything you want in life, you have to work hard for it because it's not going to fall down from the sky. Also, if you ever did anything wrong, you never get away with it. Karma and the police will always get you. At that age, that advice traumatized me a lot. I felt like I was sentenced to this life of deficiency. I felt so unloved by the universe, and I felt like I was missing out on something that everyone had, which was luck. Then university years came, and being a bit rebellious and all, I decided to put my tissue paper luck to test. You see, I dreamt of 4 numbers one day, and I was punching that 4 numbers into an ATM machine. So I woke up and I told my parents about it. My father was so excited. He said to me, you have to buy 4D. This is a sign. 4D is a kind of lottery in Singapore where you pick 4 numbers. So I was thinking to myself, because I had a schoolmate who dreamt of 4 numbers as well, and she won the second prize. True story. And my dad was also thinking, she's going to win. And off he went to buy 4D on my behalf. And guess what? I won. Nothing. I won nothing. Okay, I'm just messing with you. I did not win. I wish I did. This would have been a dream and a kind of story, but it's not. It's the opposite. In fact, my mom said that I was so far from winning that it's like extraordinary. She had never seen anybody who's so not related to any of the numbers in the winning series for a week. Well, I think the universe has spoken. The tissue paper luck is indeed very, very strong in me. In fact, I think that the tissue paper luck force is so strong that I'm the Luke Skywalker on tissue paper. I dare say that tissue paper luck has blocked some extraordinary fortunes from coming to me because my life has been nothing but normal. Normal. For a woman born in the 70s in Singapore. Like everyone else, I've been healthy, like most people of my generation. I had a tertiary education, like a lot of the women of my generation. I'm married with 2 kids. I've been employed for the most part of my adult life. So, normal, right? Nothing extraordinary, right? But if I were to tweak my perspective just a little and compare it with my mother's life, I think I might have already struck the cosmic lottery. You see, my mother was born just 1 generation ago in pre-independent third world Singapore in the 50s. She was by all accounts a very smart girl with good grades, but she had to quit school at age 14 to work because of poverty and the idea back then that an education is only fit for boys of a family. I've never had sustained hunger in my life, but my mom was always hungry while growing up. I always slept on proper beds, but she used to sleep on dirt floors above straw mats, usually with a sibling's foot or elbow in the face. All that was probably why she was always nagging at me, using all kinds of passive-aggressive means to tell me, methods, you're very good at this. That's good. To tell me to work hard for what I want in life, and to be grateful for the little things that my brother and I had growing up, even though we were born in a very rich family. But whatever we had was so much more than what she had while growing up. focus on certain blessings in our lives. Because they form the backdrops of our life. Things like having clean water to drink, having a right to an education, having basic gender equality, and living during peacetime and not during some kind of war. In fact, thinking back, I think that being told that I have tissue paper luck was probably the luckiest thing that ever happened to me. The American General Douglas MacArthur said, the best luck of all is the luck you make for yourself. And somehow, my almost illiterate mother must have understood that. Thank you.
You record for me, you send to me, can? Can, okay? I do my speech one more time.
Right, I missed it.
You time for me, I do my speech one more time. After that, you all evaluate my speech. I changed a little bit from just now. Just thinking of something.